So yeah. Oh no. There's more! So yeah. I've said this a while. It was like really a while. But like, I think 2 days ago? I don't know. Let me just check. I don't know why I'm looking at this because this is the YouTube thing and it doesn't probably tell me when it was uploaded. Besides the thing, it's on my phone, but not on YouTube Studios, I think. But it's one of the things I find really interesting because, again, I wanted to start watching Aliens because overall, I thought I'm going to look into the sort of like, I want to look at this new Alien thing, and I wanted to watch some of the old Aliens. So I was like, okay, I'm going to watch some of the old ones, see what they're like, see what's in them, and then talk about them. Say what I thought I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, what I thought was like good or bad. So I did. And I did know a bit about that the first one was a bit different. And I have seen one scene. I'm not going to talk about it right now because, again, if I'm talking about one specific scene, that is definitely spoilers in full. But overall, I thought this was really good. How it started, how it sort of built, because with the first one, you don't know it's an alien. And I will say xenomorph now because, again, it's one of the things, if I watch a sequel to something, recommendation, the first one exists. So I wouldn't, that's one thing which I don't get when some people watch a sequel and then watch a review of a sequel and it's like, oh, you used to mention the first one. Shouldn't you have watched the first one? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just confused. Maybe I'm an idiot. Fully valid options. But you know that these exist. Also, I don't know if they name it in this. But it's really intense in this. Which is what I like. The intensity of like, ooh, what's here? What is going on here? And I love it because of that. It's so fun, so intense with all of this. And you slowly get the action. And when you get the action, there's one scene, again, talking to you later, that's like, yeah, 3 days ago. 3 days ago, there's one scene where I was like, what? And throughout the movie, it really puts the pedal to the metal. So yeah, why don't we talk about those scenes? So yeah, one of the scenes, a couple of the scenes I think are good in this is one, when you see it, you get two things to be like how much bad they are. And that is some people having the ammunition. And I love the scene where they're like, wait, we're above a nuclear reactor and the bullets could set them off. I'm like, great. And absolutely think this is interesting. And when they actually fight it, which is a bit later, jeez, what they do is so intense. And I love at the beginning, it's like no one believes her. And then when you slowly have these people die one by one, it's like people, like not even one by one, literally one by one. Well, when you see them die, you see the rest of them being like, this is real. And actually start like being like, we actually need to deal with this. And some of the stuff in there about like, in the end, you realize that the whole plan was to kill all of them and have the one scientist have two of them have the facehuggers get the aliens out of them and sort of use them as a biological weapon, which there's an entire army that you are literally sacrificing because like, oh, that's yeah, we can sacrifice him, they can die. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? These are human lives here. Right, you are like putting on the like, by the way, I don't care if you die. It's like, are you kidding me? This is literally horror when you see them boom, boom. And then when he dies, it's so satisfying. It's like, I also like, even if the Symphozoid does die in this, because in the first one, the Symphozoid was bad. And I didn't know they were going to do the same thing again, but they didn't. He actually, like, saved the day, and you have his moment of, like, oh, is he? But he didn't. And I found that so interesting, in that, like, I like that also that this builds. This does what I think a sequel does, and I think I think like some people like Straw Hat Goofy, and some other people have said like this sort of like, I think it was Straw Hat Goofy. I don't know. I forget people. I forget. I don't even remember the exact scene, but I've heard like so many people talk about like this is how you do a sequel, where it's not one alien, it's aliens. It's more of what the last one had, bigger and more louder. I also heard, and I have said this in the first one, that this is different, which is what I did know, about the first one, which you can tell this is far more action than it was. Also, I think I've said this in one of the streams, that someone told me, because, I know who told me, there was someone doing the thing where it's like taking a scene, and it's a scene where like they first walk in to like the science area, and then it's one of those things where one person like holds sort of a gun, and the director said, oh, that was a Steadicam. And I was like, that's clever, no one knows what a Steadicam is. So like, you'd be like, oh, this is a thing. And then we're like, oh yeah, that's a thing. Like, people would be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's a part of the world, and that exists. So I like it just because of how, like, they just like, and here it is. And here's the gun we have. Because I don't know how many people know what a sort of like Steadicam is. I don't know. It's really interesting. Again, also, the other scene which I did know about, because I have seen it before, is the very end. Which is basically, she holds up this gun with a flamethrower, and the simple reaction that she has, and is set up, is the queen alien looks at her, she looks up, you see two xenomorphs, just like, I think like the shadow of them just go, and from the other side, and then you have her go, point the flamethrower up, sets it off just a little bit, like I think it was like less than like 3 seconds, and then just hold it at the edge. And then the queen sort of does this gesture with her arms, and then the creatures down here go back, and then the other side back. And I like that, no words spoken, no less than like a couple of seconds, but so clear of like, of the idea of like, I'm in danger. That's for me, and I will burn this place to the ground. And then it's like, okay, I'm also in danger, because both of them are having their instincts like tested. I don't know who said it. A lot of videos I forget, but I do remember that. Again, not what I said, but so many people have talked about that scene and how it's like a motherly instinct thing, and it's really interesting. And the last thing I will say is I do know the thing about Aliens 3. I watched some Tower review it, and that is effed up. But I'll talk about that in Aliens 3, because I feel like that's that, and I shouldn't talk about that here. But yeah. So yeah. Actually, I talked about it in 2. I talked about it in 1, so yeah. It is a fake, I will talk more in depth, but it is annoying that I do it. But I do at least like this one, and I do think this is an improvement to Aliens. It is so fun, and it's so interesting. So yeah, I hope you liked, I hope you enjoyed this video. So yeah, that's it. Good night.